for a brand new segment called You Just Can't Do It. These are things that are happening in the world that you just can't do, okay? There are some things that you can do. There's some things that you just can't do. And in this segment called You Just Can't Do It, we have a couple whites that we'd like to talk about. First things first, the beaches in Florida. It's been talked about now for a couple weeks. About a week ago, a news article or news clip came out with a bunch of Chads and a bunch of Brads and a bunch of bros talking about how spring break will not be canceled to them because of some virus, man. We've been saving up for what? At least 2.5 weeks for this trip, bro. And it's still happening, by the way. The beaches in Florida, I believe we have photos. The beaches in Florida are still loaded with humans. Spring break is still happening for some folks. I mean, right now, if you look at the beach in New Smyrna, which is, whatever, just 2 days ago, there's families everywhere. I see a couple old whites in there. I see a couple young whites in there. And we need to tell the whites, stop going to the beaches just for a couple weeks. I mean, granted, me saying it is not better than every other human that you've heard say it, including, numerous public officials and every celebrity and Zito. What's that, Z?
I had to say my family from Florida was there.
Z.
I know. I'll tell them.
So it's not just the whites. It's the Cubans as well. If you could please tell the whites and the Cubans in Florida to stay off the beaches and just go into their tiny little apartments and take on this humidity themselves, please. Also, another group of whites. There was a ship that showed up in New York this yesterday it's a hospital, but a lot of people are thinking it's potentially not great. New Yorkers, a city that is literally surrounded by water and boats on a daily basis, absolutely lost their mind whenever this ship came to the yard and they started sprinting through the parks to get pictures while covering their faces with their jackets. That should help. Not a lot of people wearing. The whites in New York need to stop flocking and jogging and yogging and standing next to each other. Now listen, I don't live in New York. We're there on a pretty frequent basis. From what I've heard, New York is not a good spot to be in right now, especially in public. One ship comes to town and everybody comes flocking out of their apartments to do it. You just can't do it. So sorry to interrupt. If you're a man watching this, you deserve to have long, great. And you can do that now with our friends at Roman. Right now, you go to GetRoman.com. You get $10 off and free 2-day shipping on Roman swipes, which are guaranteed to make you have longer, more fulfilling every time you get in the sack. Now, let's get back to the fornicating action. All right, now let's take this thing international, okay? It's not just Florida. It's not just New York. Here's India, where some officials over there thought it'd be the right move to take out a damn fire hose and start squirting its people to disinfect them. I don't think this is the proper way to do things. They have hazmat suits on. Cops are rolling by in motorcycles. They got a bunch of people who didn't practice social distancing that were out in public down in either Native American style or a full catcher squat, and they're just spraying them down with a fire hose. Now, I know what you're trying to do, okay? You're trying to disinfect the humans, but there has to be a more humane way to do things, India. You just can't do it. And last but not least, this particular area of our country created one of the most electric figures to ever exist. This particular town, known as Oakland, created Marshawn Lynch, which the world should forever be thankful for. But I don't think anybody has relayed the message to Oakland that you're supposed to be in quarantine and staying away from people, because last night in the middle of the street, everybody had their whips out and everybody was donutting in the streets. We're talking about a full gather round. Come down to the block. We got a pickup truck that's about to do 10 donuts in a row. Everybody stand next to each other, holding hands, maybe lick each other's hands, high five each other, and let's just have a hell of a day. Somebody needs to tell them, hey, I understand it looks like by the way, it looks like one of the best times I've ever seen in my entire life. I wish I was there. Honestly, on any other occasion, I would be trying to find the next time this is happening and getting there as often as possible. But in the quarantine world that we're living in, and I hate to say this because it looks like a blast, but you just can't do it. We'll be back tomorrow with more of this because there's only stupidity rising at a rapid rate right now.